Okay, end of night, day one, after a lot. So everything's washed and quote unquote sorted by color. I got some two very nice crater plates, 1 and 2, just getting them to dry. Those must have been the kit, the crater plate kit. I can't remember the set number now because there's no big sets in here at all. So I will show you what I built first and show you what I have left over. So this set was complete, every single piece, which is utterly fantastic. One of my faves, obviously. And again, the only issue is that you have to take apart the rocket to get it off. The 918, not complete. It's missing 1, 2, 3, 4 bizzes. 5 because I'm missing one of the landing struts. So that's easily replaced from my collection. This guy, a lot more pieces were missing, including there's a broken 2x8 in there. It's missing that, and the tank in the front. It's missing obviously one of those guys. It's missing the printed 2x2. It's missing the 1x2 jumper. Well, actually, it's missing 2 because it's missing one up there, and it's missing the gun on the back. So, what are you gonna do? Still got that piece. Fantastic. This guy, just so many pieces missing. It's just really, really disheartening how much is missing off of this guy. All the minifigs for all the sets were here, so lots of missing in there, all the way around. One of my challenges when I get lots like this is see if I can build this set as complete as possible with the pieces in it. But as you can see, it's even missing the 4x8 black in the bottom, so this is a little bit of a tough build. It's missing most of the back, including the 4x4x2 black rocket cones. So, but again, pretty easy to replace from all the pieces I have in the basement. And what we have left over are a bunch of basic brick, which is nice. They're not, they're fair to Midland. Some are really nice, some are a little with teeth marks on it. I think there was a police set from the mid-70s, and I think this is the motorcycle. I'll have to have a look at that, and that's probably the street sign too. But 2x whites, blacks, reds over there. But this is the stuff I have left over from my space build, and there's still more spacey pieces here, including 4 original gray 2x2 plates with the tires, and then 4 of the 2 of the newer type. So there's a newer set in here somewhere. I can't figure it out yet. I haven't really put any effort into it. It's got these pieces, but it's not a 6880 because there's nothing else. You know, it's got the 2 ladder pieces, but there's really nothing else. There's no dish. There's no this is nothing. So, but it's got 2 steering wheels. It's got those little clippies there. 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 1 of those, 1 of those. This is very odd. These 4 new blade pieces, light blade 2x2. There's no other new pieces in this entire lot. So that's something. The black, same thing, got some spare pieces here. I mean, I could probably check out to see which set had 4 of those in it. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. There are 3 classic spacesuit pieces left over, but there's no other classic space minifig pieces over there. So what it is. The blue, not too much left over at all. It has this very, very bad, and I mentioned it before, either melted or completely deformed brick. One of these, which I don't think was classic space at all, and the steering wheel was probably a vehicle from the town. This guy. So again, just basic pieces after that. And of course, over here we have some really old pieces here for the mid-70s, including the police. So that's why I'm thinking there was a police set here with that armless, motionless minifig. So in the end, a worthy buy for $45. I personally think there's some, there was relatively few busted pieces. Again, one of the slopes was busted, the printed slopes, but what are you gonna do about that? After everything was washed, the pieces looked good overall. There are some that are a little chewed and whatever, you know, you can't complain. So I'm happy with the lot. I think it's well worth $45 for what I got. And again, that's perfect. That's missing a few. That's missing like 5 or 6. That's missing a lot, but nothing that can't be replaced so easily in my collection, from my collection. So 1, 2, 3, 4 space sets, 2 crater plates. I'm gonna see if I can build something else out of this. Any more sets that are worthy of building out of this. And then the rest of it. Now, what's gonna happen with the 1x and the 2x basic brick, they're not gonna be sorted into my collection. Those bins are full. They're just gonna go right into the tote. I got a 4th or 5th one going. Jeffy's got 3 of mine, and I got another full one here, and I'm starting a 5th one, I think, now. So every time I buy a lot, obviously you're gonna get some basic bricks, especially when you buy these old vintage lots, which is perfectly fine. I will say, when I went through my black 2x4 bin the other day, I have some really, really old and very, very worn black 2x4 bricks that I'm thinking I might actually put a little bit of effort in just keeping the good ones and putting the really worn and scratched and, you know, dented bricks into either the bin of doom or into the tote. I haven't got a completely, you know, rock solid idea about doing that, but I keep on thinking about it. But in the end, something has to be done, because I do have so many basic pieces, bricks from back in the day and now. Somebody who asked me on a YouTube question, friend of mine, friend of the channel, if I sorted out old bricks. That's not one of them. But over here, I found here, this is an old 1x2 plate. You can tell by the logo in the bottom that it doesn't have the circular thing. It just has that little bar in between. And this one has a few of those. This set came with a few of those. I tried not to build them into that guy there. I hope I kept the other one out, because I found at least 2 of this. Oh, there's the other one. So I found at least 2. And look at that logo. That's really cool. And you can see those pieces are a little more beat up than the rest, because they're older. They're probably from late 60s. So those 2 1x2s will be sorted out into, I got a new bin going, a new bin for vintage bricks, 1x1 round bricks with solid stud, grill and tiles without ridge at the bottom, without groove at the bottom. I actually have a whole bunch of those, because of course I had them when I was a kid. So I have a bunch of those, and I don't, this is me, I'll be building something, I'll be trying to take it apart, and all of a sudden I realize I put a plate down or a tile down with a groove on it, and I go, without a groove on it, and oh, how am I gonna get this off? Right, so I do separate the tiles and grills without groove on the bottom. And the 1x6s and the 1x8s, that, not like this, but have just the lines going across, I actually separate those out. Any vintage brick that doesn't have the same basic mold that we're used to these days, I will separate out. And even the armless, the motionless minifigs, I sort out, obviously. So I do sort out vintage bricks. I do not sort out bricks with the, see if I can find it through the camera. It's always the last side. I do not differentiate between the bricks that have the injection mold on the side or on the stud, because to me they're the same, and so therefore those don't get it. But if I do find one that has, not those one, I don't think I have any brick in here that have the old logo on them, besides those 2 1x2s over there, plates. If I come across a brick that has the old 60s logo on it, or a very, very odd stud pattern that, you know, Samsonite used to not care about, I will separate that out, because I think that's kind of cool. I have a bunch of those bricks in the ferry, the 60s train ferry, I think it was 60s or maybe early 70s, that I tried to make as authentic as possible. I know when I got it, it was missing a few pieces, but I've made that era accurate as possible. And that's because I keep on finding bricks from the era when I keep on buying these old lots. But I'm happy I got this one, and I just washed it like 2 hours ago, an hour ago. Most of it's dry because I've been like sorting and building the towels. Pretty damp in some spots, but overall the pieces are dry, so the pieces can be put into the collection tomorrow, which is just odd because our house is extremely, doesn't feel dry, but you wash something and it just, the moisture gets sucked out of it. But anyway, that's another story for another time. So I'm going to go finish those sets, not tonight because I'm tired, so I'm just going to leave them here actually. And tomorrow night, I'm going to try to get this off the living room floor. I was just having fun upstairs today. I didn't do any of this downstairs in the leg room. I watched and let it sit in the living room while we were watching TV, Lower Decks, fantastic show, and The Good Fight, which is basically a habit left over from watching The Good Wife, because I loved The Good Wife. I thought it was a fantastic show. And basically I love any lawyer shows going right back to LA Law back when we were kids. I'm always appreciative of lawyer shows. And Sandy and I are binge watching Suits right now, which I'd never seen before, and I'm just absolutely addicted to. We're in the 4th season, and everybody tells me this 4th season where it wanes a little bit. Don't care. I'm still gonna watch it right to the end. So we were watching, I've been taping The Good Fight since it started after the spinoff from The Good Wife, and it's hit and miss for me. I get where they're going. They try to be, it's not even satire. It's kind of a reflection of how stupid society is right now. But I'm still watching it to the end. This is the last season, so of course I'm gonna watch it. But anyway, so that's what I did while I was doing this, sorting out and building the sets, and represent fantastic company. But I will talk to everybody soon. I hope everybody's doing well. Take care of yourself. Seriously, take care of yourself, and make sure that you are good with yourself. That's the most important thing. In order for you to be there, let's go off on this quick tangent. I very vaguely recollect a whole bunch of my psychology classes in college and all the stuff that you used to have to take. But I remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and the base needs in order for you to function in society is that you have to be healthy with yourself, and you have to appreciate who you are before you can start, going out and reaching out to other people and being there for others. So the important thing is, make sure you're good with yourself. I've had my ups and downs over my life, straight up. I'm not gonna, I've never been shy about saying the various issues I've had over my life, depression and stuff like that. But I will say this, there are extenuating circumstances that can be hereditary or biological, absolutely, that contribute to depression and stuff like that. I'm very well aware and struggled with that. But in the end, I also believe that your intelligence and your thoughts can not necessarily remove that in its entirety, the hereditary depression and stuff. But if you start thinking good thoughts, and this is, I know it's a cliche, and it's absolutely like a greeting card or whatever, but if you start thinking good thoughts about yourself, things will improve. At least it has for me my entire life. I struggled more when I was younger with depression. I even saw a doctor a few times, and there's no shame in that. But I realized that I was really, really low, and blah blah blah, and I needed to seek help from others. That's the biggest step, is to seek out from those who are qualified to help you, by the way, not just anybody. But I always said this: just put one foot in front of the other. It's the best thing you can do, is just get up and just put one foot, and then absolutely willpower comes into play. For me, it did. And also, even when I was a kid, even though I know depression runs in the family and stuff like that. I've always liked me. Not an egocentric kind of way, but I've always appreciated. I've never like thought, hey, I like myself, but I've always been happy with my life, with the roller coaster even of emotions and depression and stuff like that. In the end, I believed fundamentally that I just get to the next day, and some days that's all it was. Honestly, when I was younger, in my 20s and in my teens, it was trying to get to the next day. It was a struggle sometimes. But in the end, I believed, I always use this saying that, when you're in the middle of the storm, you don't know how close the shore is or how close safety is, because you're getting buffeted by everything. The waves are crashing around you, huge lightning storms, thunder, lightning. You're in the middle of a vast sea, you think, and there's no life preserver, and you're just completely overwhelmed, and you're going to drown. I get it. I've been there. Honest to God, I have. More than a few times in my life. And it's tough. And there's no easy answers. But it is within you, and I believe in it, honestly, to be true. It is within you to just put one foot in front of the other, take a step, take a breath, take a step. And I think this is how I've conducted my life since I started discovering this. Break everything down to the smallest common denominator. Everything can be overwhelming, but you got so many big things, so many huge things, so many whatever things. Focus on what you can do. That's how I overcome the issues at work when there's all these outages and the lights are failing and blah, blah. Fix what you can first. What's the issue? I don't know yet. Let's just trace it back. Let's break it down to the lowest common denominator. Do the dishes, sweep the floor, make your bed, whatever, just for a small, tiny sense of accomplishment. That seriously goes a long way. And as I say, even at work, when people are screaming and pulling out their hair, and why isn't this working? Let's just take it right back to the root. Is this wire working? Right? Is this cable? Is this network cable? What about the jack? What about the switch? And just trace it back, right? And 99% of the time, you find a fix as you're walking through it. Instead of trying to accomplish taking care of the big pile of stuff, just grab a little stone from the pile. Is this what we need? No. Put it away. Is this going to work? No. And then you just systematically, and this is why Lego is always good for me, because it's a systematic approach to everything. You have to start with one piece. And you build, and you build. You can't build the whole thing at once. I didn't build that tower. I didn't build that layout in one night. That's been 13 years now. It's not quite right. And then but you don't get, and this is what I also want to say, don't get, well, you're going to, but try not to let it get to you if failure happens. That's part of life. And, again, learning from Star Trek, when Data was taken on, what's their name, with the finger game. I even forget what it's called now. This is how bad my memory's getting. But Data wasn't playing to win at the second time. He was playing to not lose. And that's more important to me now. I don't need to be a winner. Oh, look at these winning everything he's getting. No, I don't need to win. I'm not here to win. My ego is not contingent on me winning, because that usually entitles somebody else losing. I'm more of a, I don't want to lose, so I work on not losing. And usually my working on not losing is to make sure, because one of my senses of accomplishment is make sure people around me are good. That's just who I am. I want people to be happy. Naturally, I just want people to be happy. And so I've always wanted, even in my greatest depressions, I wanted other people to be happy, like really happy, not fake happy or faking whatever, but generally appreciating life. And you go out and watch the sunset, walk along the beach. I get it. The world could be crashing on your head. Step back, go for a walk, get some air, again, break it down to the smallest. See a chipmunk. I see a chipmunk, I get happy. That releases so many endorphins in my life, in my head. I see a squirrel, I see a blue jay in my backyard. done. I'm happy for the day. No matter what happens, my life is good. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychologist, or any kind of professional by any stretch, but do what you can, and don't. The sun will rise tomorrow, and it could be bad now, and it could be bad for a while. It could have been bad for a long time. I get it, but just put one foot in front of the other, and reach out if you want to. DM me. I don't care. Again, I'm not a professional by any stretch, but I've gone through stuff, and so when I say take care of yourself, I mean it. Truly take care of yourself. Don't like go out and buy a $350,000 sports car because you're going through some midlife crisis, unless you really want to and you have the means to. But in the end, just go for a walk, if that's what's going to make you happier, or sit on the couch and binge watch Suits. This is what I'm doing right now, and I'm just getting so much happiness from watching a solidly written show, and whatever floats your boat. But know that if you feel yourself spiraling, do the tiniest things in order to prevent the spiraling from continuing. You don't have to reverse it instantaneously. You don't have to go right back to 100% perfect. That life's not like that. Nothing is 100% perfect. Everything requires effort. Everything requires work. But sometimes it just pays to just sit back, take a little step, do a little thing, build a little spaceship. I'm perfectly happy right now. It doesn't matter what else is going on in the world right now. I built that today. So anyway, I've gone on enough. So many tangents, and again, people are just Dave doesn't know what he's talking about. It works for me, so it might not work for you. Your mileage may vary, as we always say. So I'm going to figure out this stuff, and I'm going to talk to you guys soon. Everybody stay safe and take care.